modest mentality. Okay. The difference between unnecessarily revealing and appropriately displaying your own personal styles. And we can kind of do the difference between the two because there is a sexy look that you can have when you are trying to attract a dude on the catwalk in the red light district. And then there's the outfit you're supposed to have the rest of your life, right? You're going to attract different kinds of men with different types of outfits. We got the shorts that are high. It is not appropriate. Whether it's men with their boxers hanging down or if it's women with their underwear showing through their short, it's not appropriate. So, we're just going to cover that stuff. Special shout out to Michigan. So that's another person because Nicole comes in from Detroit, Michigan, and now we got Boxman from Detroit, Michigan. Michigan is surviving. Michigan is surviving. We need to get more of y'all to come doing some shout outs from different places. We can know how many countries around the world is on the live at the same time. Uh, because the other day we had thousands of y'all here. But let's go ahead and get started because today we do questions and comments. So if y'all have questions, whether you're on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, y'all got questions, feel free to throw them down. Appropriate questions, because I know we got a lot of trolls. They're they are appropriate questions. Tampa, Tampa, Florida. Well, technically, really close to Tampa, Florida. Actually, more like Apollo Beach, right off the coast. But where are you? Well, you said that you're in Michigan, United States. So I'm in the United States. Um, but less personal questions about me, more personal questions hypothetically. How do I help you with your concerns, financial questions that you might have about your ideas, your dreams, your ambitions? Because it's not so much about like digging into my personal life. It's more about me helping you guys find better ways to get your own personal lives under control. Because let's be real, you know, even if you knew everything you needed to know about me to be like, dang, that guy's got it. At the end of the day, you're not doing anything for yourself. Uh, Near Grand Rapids, Michigan. Oh, that's cool. You need a book recommendation. Michael typically gives you guys a book, at least one book every day that he comes onto the show. And he's here most nights out of the week. He puts up a different book every day. What's my favorite book? I don't have a favorite book because I put up a large quantity of research every day for this show. Sunday is like the only day that I just collaborate a large quantity of comments that I've gotten from fans, and I listen to them and I tell you guys what I think about those comments when you guys aren't asking me a lot of questions. So every other day, 6 days out of the week, um I typically doing research about the topic at hand. So I'm dealing with politics, I'm dealing with real estate, I'm dealing with investment brokerage stuff to that effect. Um, so there's a lot of stuff that's going on there. FX Trader said, "What is the most common female deception?" That's a good question. Um, Before that, let's do this question: where should I invest my money? You should invest your money in anything that will draw you a return. The some of the most stable but best returns are typically about 10%. More volatile, I have stock options that are going across the screen sometimes out of the night that are closer to 18 and 19% interest, but they're real estate investment trusts and BDCs. So if you're doing a startup, the best thing that you can get into is brokerage accounts where you can invest your money into a brokerage account. And if you're following some of the ones that you see, they're going across the bottom of the screen in 9 by 16, but they're going across the top at the 16 by 9 form. And those stocks up there, those stocks, if you hit them right before the ex dividend date, you're investing this month and getting paid shortly thereafter the percentage of dividends, which motivates you to keep investing. So I believe that the best way for a moderate to low income individual to start feeling the benefits of investing in themselves, that you should start with dividend paying brokerage accounts and then expand your portfolio from there. Your portfolio includes stocks, bonds, real estate. It includes mutualities, CDs, annuities. It includes trust funds. It includes high interest savings accounts, health savings accounts, 401ks, Roth IRAs, real estate, gold, silver, platinum, uranium, all of the precious minerals. It includes Bitcoin, that all of that stuff, anything that you can put your money into that can give you a profit after you take your money back or before you take your money back, anything that you can put your money into is part of your portfolio. Putting money into a business that actually, as a shareholder, you're going to be getting dividends back. That's part of your portfolio. Okay. So if you bought a Cybertruck and you was leasing that bad boy out, that Cybertruck is part of your portfolio because it's turning you profits. And the difference between the money that you spend versus the money that you make back, that's what we're looking at as pretty much like a return on investment kind of situation. And that's when we start understanding that we're making more money than we're spending, we're turning profits. You asked me, do I take physics questions? Uh, I'm gonna get on the FX traders question. To truth is I am capable of taking physics questions, but because we're on a live podcast and I completely understand that some people really love to troll the channel and they will come and try to ask me like a quantum physics question. While I am the jack of all trades and the master of none, I have become or am becoming the master of identifying how the decisions that you make negatively impact your income and what things you should possibly do to improve your ability to make better decisions in that same situation that less impacts your income or better provides you with a financial response. So if in the event that you ask me certain physics questions that I can remember off the top of my head how to resolve, I can probably answer that. But if you threw down a physics question that was just not on the top of my head while we're about to deal with a relationship question about deception with women, that I'm probably not going to be able to provide every answer. But and then there's some people that might come and ask me some philosophy questions, religion questions. So, broad spectrum, this and that does do questions and comments. But truth be told, kind of want to exactly. Even God is bounded by physics. You know what I mean? So I just ask that you do not ask me a truthfully inappropriate comment. And I define an inappropriate comment as something that will either insult somebody, devalue, or degrade somebody. And when I mean insult them, I mean deliberately designed to insult them, like asking an inappropriate LGBTQ question. You know what I mean? If you're asking a inappropriately structured question that is going to deliberately make everybody feel uncomfortable, and then the answer is going to end up being perceived as inappropriate specifically because of the structure of the question, stuff like that, I don't follow with it, and typically I block those people immediately after I observe the question. uh, so Michael, the most common female deception is going to be gaslighting. um And I understand that women are going to be offended by that response. And the reason why I'm going to give that response is because when there are certain things that women do that men do not like, women will gaslight the men into believing that the man is wrong for not liking that action or that decision. Now, those exact same women, if you put the shoe on the other foot and expected her to adhere to the exact same circumstances that was being imposed on the man, the woman would claim that is unfair. Now, we have covered, I'm a man of uniformity. So the reason why I say gaslighting is one of the biggest things that women do, that is the biggest form of female deception. It's not just lying. It is the biggest deception. Let's start off with something easy. A man is not allowed to communicate with another woman while he is in a relationship with a woman. However, a woman is allowed to have a male best friend that is her ex-boyfriend. A woman is allowed to develop new male best friends while she's in a relationship with her man. A woman is allowed to have emotional bonds with other men in reality and on social media. And a man is not supposed to be quote unquote too insecure to tell her not to do that. However, a woman having her man just tell a woman directions to get to the nearest Starbucks, or helping a woman get something off the shelf at the Walmart, or holding a door open for a woman that's carrying too much stuff and can't see which way to go, a woman would say that a man should not do certain things because he's in a relationship, right? So, social interaction. A woman believes that she when she sets those same boundaries that a man would set, it's allowed because she's allegedly protecting her investment. It's allowed because uh 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 she doesn't want the guy to stray away or whatever the case may be. But when the man set those exact same parameters, a man is being considered toxic. He's considered misogynistic, too controlling, overbearing. Let's take other scenarios. For example, I have said on a plenty of occasions that a woman should obey her man. Women don't like that terminology. They feel like they're being put into slavery because they're in a relationship. However, every woman has a man that follows her instructions like a lapdog. If you tell him to do something, you don't have to say please and you don't have to say thank you. You just have to deliver the instruction and he will go and get it done as soon as he finishes with his video game, as soon as he finishes watching his fight night, as soon as he finishes watching his football game. He will get it done. And then he come back to you, it's done, and that's it. No thank you, no kiss, no hug, no nothing. It's done. But if a man gives an instruction to a woman, how dare you talk to me like that? You're misogynistic, feminist movement. I'm independent. I don't follow instructions. I don't obey this, that, and the third. The mutual respect that if you have a good man, he will do what you say just because you said it. By default, you need to be the kind of woman that's willing to obey your man because you're not going to ask him what he needs. You're not going to ask him if you can help him. You're not going to ask him if he's okay. So since you're not going to ask, he has to tell you I need help. He has to tell you I'm not okay. He needs to tell you where you need to be at so that he can be the most successful. And when he tells you that, you need to do it. Uniformity. Now, let's touch one more because I see some more comments coming in. I want to make sure that I cover those. Number one, another one. Um, oh, he said, that's the proper response. Exactly, Stephen. Another one. Michael. Uh, they want a book of the day. I know the bookcase is moving because it's not a real bookcase. It's a print. And they need to get off that bookcase. If they paying attention to the book, that means I'm getting cool air. If the bookcase is moving, that's because I got a cool breeze. Stop paying attention to the bookcase. Pay attention to the top. Shoot. Now, another thing that going back to this question about common deception, women do not believe that a man should tell a woman how to dress. Now, I completely disagree. A woman represents the man based on how she looks, based on how she carries herself. Her own respect should be identified by the man before the man gets with this woman because her self respect, her self dignity, her integrity will reflect upon the man. If he's got a woman that has low value in herself, she is going to reflect low value and that will reflect low value upon him. Now, reverse that. A man represents his woman. So a man who carries himself with low value, who carries himself with low respect and no dignity, will be low value towards that woman. So dynamic. I'm going to start with the women now, ladies. Alpha boss lady, $70,000 a year job. Let's say she's a lawyer, top tier lawyer. Matter of fact, she's closing big cases. She's getting bonuses on a regular basis. She's got a Bentley from the company, and she got her own Honda Civic at the house that she had bought with her own money before they gave her that Bentley as a promotion. Right? She owned her own house. Right? And that's the house in this city, not the vacation home in another city when they have her commute for work. Now, alpha boss lady, her boyfriend, local drug dealer, dresses like Lil Wayne back in 1998. If you look at that woman standing next to that man, she does not look like a valuable person to do business with. If she was a criminal, no, if she was a prosecutor, her boyfriend being a drug dealer would ruin her career. If she was a politician, her boyfriend being a drug dealer would ruin her career. If she was a judge, her boyfriend being a drug dealer would ruin her career. Now, let's flip that back to the men. If the women want a man that's $100,000 a year job, that's definitely not flipping burgers at a McDonald's. You're talking about an office job. You're talking about a tech company job at Google. You're talking about working with Tesla. You're talking about an engineer. You're talking about somebody that is not just a professor at a 4-year institution. And you got to understand that while professors at 4-year institutions make $60,000 a year, reputation is key. So if the principal or the teacher or the dean or whatever is dating a prostitute, he gets fired. Okay. Now, lawyer. If the lawyer, again, is a prosecutor and his girl is an escort, job gone. If the man is a cop and his girl is a con artist, cops fired. If the man, hold on, we're gonna keep going with this. If the man is a judge, if the man is a state prosecutor, and his girlfriend is one of the girls on the catwalk, one of the girls out of a strip club, guy's job's gone. If the man is a mayor and the girl is an OnlyFans girl, guy's got to quit his job. Look at what happened to Shannon Sharp. So integrity is everything. Certain careers that are $100,000 a year or more careers are based on reputation, my reputation and the reputation of the people around me. So if I am related to an ain't shit person, I could lose my career because my family ain't shit. So you can understand that if I'm about to pick a female, that she can't be low grade and low quality. If she wants $100,000 a year man, she has to behave like $100,000 a year wife. Otherwise, she is going to bring down the man that she gets, whether she wants to or not, because she will get with him. And when people find out what kind of woman he's affiliated with, they're going to stop fucking with him. So his business is going to lose clientele because they are associating him with her negative decisions. Now, how does this work with their ability to change clothes and stuff? We're going to go ahead and look at uniformity. Back in the 50s, 40s, 60s, actually probably up to like the 80s, women used to dress their men. If I had a good woman, she probably would have picked my suit out for this podcast. While I was doing something else, like doing all the behind the scenes stuff for the podcast, she would have been picking my outfit out for the podcast so that I can look good for her. Right now, I'm not going to tell my woman I'm not putting that on. Whatever she grabs, get me ready for work. I'm gonna put that on. She's gonna want me to look my best if she values me as a man. As a result, whatever she recommends, that's what I wear. Back in the day, women would be more attracted to a man in a relationship because his woman elevated his appearance. No matter how good he dressed himself, his woman dressed him better. Now, let's get on the flip side. Spin it to men telling women how to dress. Women have gotten so accustomed of looking like street trash to attract a man that they forget how to carry themselves respectfully. Then, when they find a man, and now it is no longer a time to bait, now it is time to be modest because you are in a relationship. They don't feel comfortable with being modest because they spent the last 20 years running the streets. Your man tells you don't put that on because it's too revealing. Your man tells you don't put that on because you will be too exposed. Your man is telling you don't go to certain places because you could potentially end up in a situation where you're getting attacked. Women don't want to be told what to do, but you can tell your man what to do. You actually expect your man to do what you say whenever you say do it. The mutual respect that is not there because she expects him to give her all of her whereabouts, GPS signals, this, that, and the third. And if he's not where she say or where he's not where he say he is, she's flipping out. She ain't gotta be where she say she is. He better wait till she get back. The lack of mutual respect in a relationship comes from the biggest deception that women do, which is gaslighting, which is freedom from responsibility because she is going to make her mistakes your fault for calling it out. That is the biggest mistake that women have. There's a lot of things that women do that men don't like, and there's a lot of things that men do that women don't like, but a man is not going to gaslight a woman. A real man is just not gonna account for it. He's just I went where I wanted to go because that's where I went. Plain and simple. Like I said, women like to play dress up, and when she's out with her man, she wants to show him off. Uh, she's peacocking you, and I love it. It means she loves you. That's when you have a good woman, though, because the women that are wearing the overly exposed outfits when she's with her man, those are the women that believe that a man wants other men to want her too. No, we don't. We do not want our relationship to be a 24/7 hardcore title match where we got to fight men off of her to keep our woman. What we want is to have a woman that nobody else has slept with, that nobody else has corrupted, that nobody else has traumatized, so that we can build a healthy and happy life with this woman. That's what we want. We don't want a woman that every other man has, and we don't want a woman that everybody else wants. We want the one that fits with what we got going on. We really want a rare breed, and a rare breed is something nobody knows exists, right? So we're not looking for the one that all the men are after. We're looking for the one that fits with us. Women don't value it if other women don't want it. So if, as a man, you got a woman on your arm, even if that's your female best friend, she could be a female best friend that likes other women. But if she's excessively attractive and she's hanging out with you, other women are going to come and see what you're about. If she's going to pass you off to the next woman, then you could pick up more chicks because a woman only wants a man that is with a woman. But men don't want women that are with another man. We don't mind smashing another man's chick, but that is not a long term commitment. That's a hit it and quit it. So a woman peacocking her man is by having her man all dressed up, looking sharp, making her look good. When you know that you're doing a good job, when y'all look like y'all are married and y'all been only dating for a little bit, you know that you're doing a good job, and y'all both look respectable. I always use that Obama and Michelle look because they never go anywhere looking like trash. You don't see Michelle's elbows most of the time on TV, and you don't see her knees most of the time on TV. You don't see her belly button most of the time. Oh no, you don't see her belly button ever on TV. If you see her calves, that is it. If you see her forearms, that is it. You don't ever see cleavage, and they are not even in the White House anymore. You don't see cleavage from Michelle Obama ever. There's a whole nother level of class, right? And she can look attractive without having to show all that stuff out. And women don't know about that. Now my boy came up and said, Jesus love you. Uh, and the only way to get to heaven is repent and turn to him. That is not true. The average person uh who's following the New Testament is putting a lot of effort into lying to themselves and believing that your deliberately negative actions can be forgiven if you just say, oops, my bad. A lot of people are developing this behavior of do it first and then ask for apology later, even though you know that what you're about to do is going to negatively impact somebody else. Instead of getting permission and instead of negotiating with the other person, fuck them over first and then say, I'm sorry after that. That is not the way to go. You're not going to make it into the gates of heaven by defying the words of the Lord and then saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. And then you're going to do it for 40 or 50 years. You understand that the only people that were supposed to be protected by the blood of Christ being spilled all over the ground were the people who did not know what they were doing were wrong. So these are the people who were too stupid and who were not taught better. The people who already knew that what they were doing were wrong, the people who are deliberately performing wrong actions, you're not making it into the kingdom of heaven just because you said, I'm sorry for deliberately fucking up. That's not going to work. That's like saying, oh, I'm not going to go to jail if I say, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. If you've seen something that was supposed to be wrong and you recognize that it's wrong and you stop doing it, that's repenting. But if you knew it was wrong 6 years ago, being an OnlyFans girl, and you go to church every Sunday and do communion, does that mean that you're not deliberately committing sin every other day out of the week? You got to understand that. Either if you had a good woman, she's she's burning your wardrobe. No, if me with a good woman would be expanding my wardrobe. If the woman does not respect you, how can you trust her? Well, that's one of the reasons why I keep telling men to change the way we interact with women. Instead of overly complimenting women specifically because they're attractive. They know they're attractive, or at least they should reasonably believe that they're attractive. We don't just compliment women for naturally being attractive. Men are not complimented every day for naturally being attractive. We should not give them false sense of confidence for who they are. We should pay attention to what they do and how they do it. If their behavior leads us to not trust them, we should not open our wallet for them to begin with. But a lot of men have learned to impress women with your wealth by spending money on the woman to convince the woman to come and hang around the man long enough for the man to get laid. And then, if the sex is good, she'll linger around the man a little bit more. Now there's sex for money for an extended period of time. And then why haven't we gotten married yet? The pressure on the man to marry the woman. And then after the man marries the woman, now he's in a long-term commitment. Some people, a couple times they have shagged, and then all of a sudden a child is born, and now they're getting married so that the child's not born a bastard. So they got into the marriage because they were pressured into it, not because it was the best fit for them. And they did not know that the woman was not trustable because they were not paying attention to it. And the roles are reversed as well. The women don't know that the man ain't trustable because they weren't paying attention to that. She was paying attention to how much money he was spending and how good the sex was. He was paying attention to how good the sex was and how she was available for the sex. Neither one of them was paying attention to the character of the other person, the personality of the other person, the decision making skills of the other person. And because they weren't paying attention to that, they got into a wrong relationship with the wrong person and had a negative outcome. If you open your wallet to trust, until I trust you, I'm not paying for the first date. I'm not paying for the first 5 or 7 dates until I can trust you to be the person that I expect you to be for an extended period of time. I should not be paying for shit. Now, does that mean that we're going to be going on free dates for a while? Probably. Or does that mean she's going to invest in me and pay for some dates? Probably. But if I got to pay for the first 10 dates and I don't know who you are, I can't trust you at this point. I don't have any value in you because I don't know who you are. No, I'm not going to open my wallet for shit. Now, a lot of women are going to say, well, your ass is going to be single forever. Well, if that turns out to be the case, then that turns out to be the case. But that also turns out to be the case that if I'm stacking my bread and I end up in the Philippines with a Filipino wife that got no problem with that dynamic, then I come back to America with a woman that's willing to do what an American woman's not willing to do. And now she is sharing my wealth in 2 countries where the woman from America is wondering why I won't even hold the door open for her while she's pumping gas in the car. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like I said, the one that fits us, what's the problem? 8 billion people on the planet can't find love. That's because you're looking for it in the wrong spot. Religious lectures are just boring and not necessary. Everybody knows what's good for them. They should. Gates of heaven, even heaven keeps fuck ups out. I ain't even trying to split a Happy Meal, Bo. Check this out. Check this out. Happy Meal like $10, $15 right now. It's inflation. It ain't on the dollar menu. A Happy Meal is expensive. What we gonna get is that little $3 10-piece nugget, and I'm gonna get five, and you gonna get five. And since women want to go 50-50, we're gonna split that shit. $1.50 between the two of us, 2 large cups of ice water. That's it. 3.85 with taxes. That's it. That's all we getting. We ain't getting shit else. Because I mean, you gotta earn it. You gotta earn it, and you don't earn it by sleeping with the guy. When we take, and I tell women all the time, if you take sex off the table, what are you bringing to the first 10 dates that makes you more valuable to him than the other 30 women that you passed today? The things that a woman is willing to do in a marriage does not make her valuable in the first 10 dates, because you're not going to the man's house and doing his laundry and cleaning his house and washing his car and cooking his meals on the first 10 dates. On the first 10 dates, you're just showing up. You put on your makeup, you do your hair, you put on a sexy outfit, and then you flirt. First 10 dates. You don't protect his assets. You don't protect his person. You're not walking his dog. You're not trying to babysit his kids or anything to that effect. You're not doing nothing on them first 10 dates that brings value to the man. But on them first 10 dates, that first 48 hours, matter of fact, he's going to make sure that you don't get hurt. He's going to make sure that you get fed. He's going to make sure that you don't get wet. He's gonna carry you to the house if he's got to. Everything that a husband would do is displayed from a man from the first date. But nothing that a wife could potentially do is being displayed from the woman on the first 6 months of the relationship, usually. And a lot of times, some women leverage that skill set as marriage required before she performs it. And that dynamic is even more thrilled because I can't even guarantee that you're going to perform for me until after I have given you a 20-year commitment. That's almost like buying a Rolls Royce. And let's talk about a brand new Rolls Royce because a brand new Rolls Royce, you pay full price for the vehicle 6 months before they give it to you. You buy it and then they build it. And whenever they're done, whether it's 6 months, 18 months, whenever they're done, then they deliver it to you. Who wants to spend $500,000 and then next year what you paid for finally shows up? Most people don't say, nah, fuck that shit. Now, what man should invest in a future commitment from a woman that's not willing to perform today? I don't think anybody should. What woman is willing to put all that money on a man for 20 years before he starts showing her husband material? Most women would say, nah, fuck that. So, since it's not going to work for him to do it to her like that, where I don't have to be a husband until I marry you, he can't say that I don't have to be a wife to you until I marry you. No, you need to perform from day one. Uh, Trader says, since the fast food became expensive and sales dropped, what happens to the common stock of these companies? The profit margin is how the stocks are impacted. So sales might be dropping, but the profits are still there because the prices are still going up because Americans are lazy. We don't always cook at home. More often than not, we eat out. So when the profits of the company goes down, the common stock value goes down and shareholders do pull out. However, restaurants like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, all of that stuff are still around because people are willing to pay that $20 for two burgers, two fries, and two large drinks. They're willing to pay $30 for two double quarter pounder with cheese value meals. It's what 15.99 for a number one combo, right? Or number two combo, right? So they're willing to pay more than $10 per item off of a fast food restaurant menu item. And as long as they're willing to pay, there's going to be profit. Now, the other thing that manufacturers do is when they don't have the ability to raise the price, they reduce the quality of the product. So instead of you having made with real beef, it's now made with something else. You have a lot of news articles going out there about how McDonald's doesn't use real meat. You have Burger King advertising uh, the Impossible Burger, which looks like burger, but it is 100% not meat. Actually, I believe it's 100% grass based. It's the closest thing to a veggie burger that's not actually a veggie burger. So if they're not using real meat in their burgers, they're saving a lot of money on growing and slaughtering cows, which saves them money across the spread, which also allows for them to maintain a profit margin. That's how we get by, how big business gets by. They reduce the labor costs, reduce the materials for the development of the product, raise the price on the product, raise the price on the service to maintain profit margins. And when they cannot reduce the price of labor costs, they increase the workload for the price of labor to get more work out of the labor. Once they max out their human workers, they trade out for robots. With a Rolls Royce, you know what you're getting. But see, that's the funniest part. With a Rolls Royce, Like with the Filipino woman, you know that for the next 15 to 20 years that you're not going to be let down as long as you don't fuck it up. But with an American woman, you have absolutely no idea day to day if this is going to work out. You base the next 2 years on the fact that she's been here for 2 years. You base the next 5 years based on the fact that she's been here for 5 years. But she can leave tomorrow. She can leave tomorrow. I seen a video the other day where this man was getting married to this woman. I talked to y'all about this once before, and she did not even want to say the appropriate vows for the marriage. And he was willing to marry her anyway. He was trying to negotiate with her into making the statement that she needed to make. And I'm sitting over here looking at him like, I don't give a shit if that was a fucking joke. As soon as she said, I'm not willing to obey, I don't obey you, I don't obey nobody, I don't obey no man, but she looked like the kind of woman that does do what her boss tells her to do. I don't give a fuck what job she worked on. She works on a job. And when she goes to work, her employer, 9 times out of 10, is a man. And that man tells her what to do, and she gets a paycheck for it. And as a result, some man will tell her what to do for money. And I'm marrying you, and you won't do what I tell you to do. I would have walked right out of the room. I would not have even. And then it got worse during that discussion because she said, you're either going to skip that word or we can just not do this. Bro, that's it. The marriage is dead. Soon as you said, if I didn't walk away when you said you wasn't gonna say obey, I would have taken option B. I would say, oh well, we're not skipping that word. If you're not willing to say that word, that's it. The whole relationship is dead. I'm gonna go straight back to the house and pack up all your shit and bring it to your mama house. It's done. Because she's telling you before y'all get started that you're guaranteedly getting nothing from me as a partner. Because I just vowed to you that I would do whatever you need done. And you're going to tell me that you're not going to give me the same. Fuck all that. But this is what we got in our Western culture. We got we don't just have the lack of discretion in our culture. We have direct and deliberate disobedience, disrespect for each other and for ourselves. And then we wonder why it's hard to find somebody. See, the thing is that as a man can wait. A man can say, "Well, I'm single by choice," because a man wants to get their money up. Thank you, I really appreciate that. A man can say, I want to get my money up. I want to be more financially stable for the person that I'm going to commit to. A man, because it takes a man 75% of his life to get there, right? Now, a woman doesn't have to do that. When she's born, she is at the peak of her value. That's it. A man's value is based on what he does. A woman, a child, and even a dog is valued for existing. Got to do shit. Just show up. So, since a woman is at peak value when she's born, a woman is at peak value when she's at her purest. Her job, maintain purity. Doesn't matter how many partners you end up accidentally stumbling across, you want to deliberately keep that number low, preferably in the single digits. In your 30s, preferably less than five in your 25 area. But, women are, oh, well, that's not fair. Dudes can smash all the chicks all over the world. Women are the ones that want men with experience. That's just, I mean, men don't really care. A man don't care if you don't know what you're doing because at the end of the day, women are gonna lay there like watching paint dry anyway. So I mean, the man's the one with all the back breaking sweat and labor that's got going on. You know what I mean? So the observation is that what women expect for men to do, women do that for themselves and then believe that that makes them valuable to a man. But no, that really just makes you valuable to another woman. What a man wants. So truth be told, most women should, instead of just hooking up with all the guys that they hook up with, do a damn census. Find out what men want in a woman and what they would consider wife material. Do a census and then be that. Because that's what men do. Men do a census. And true to life, Ask yourself, every man you dated always asks you the same thing. What do you like? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? What's your favorite meal? What's your favorite movie? What's your favorite hobby? If you had a day off to do whatever you want, what would that be? What's your favorite vacation? What's your favorite holiday? Da 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 da. When's your birthday? All of your favorites. And they do a census. And all of the women that come back and tell the men the same shit, we come to understand, well, most women want this, and this. And the harder that shit is, that's the more we strive for. So since right now in 25 and 26, women want $100,000 a year man, what are men doing? If I make $30,000, $50,000, $75,000, I'm trying to get my money up. That way, when I go talk to these females, I got that $100,000 a year. So now that I met her expectations, then the question come in at, well, what are you going to do to earn this? You misogynistic. Well, shit, I spent 75% of my life to meet your expectations. The least you could do is meet mine. If I'm 50 years old and it took me 44 years to get to where you would be satisfied with me, what the hell are you going to do to deserve it? I'm trying to figure that out. Now, Trader said, no disrespect to women, but arguing with them seems pointless. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give a fuck if they feel disrespected or not. The woman should not argue with her man. And that's not a misogynistic perspective. It comes from the dynamic of if a woman is going to get a man based on his decision making skills, if she's going to get a man based off of his character, she's going to get a man based off of his personality, she should be able to trust his judgment before she commits to him. If she trusts her man's judgment before she commits to him, then at the end of the day, she's not going to argue with him. They're not going to get along about everything. They're going to have disagreements, but they should be able to talk that stuff out. But when a woman is arguing with a man just so that she can be right, when she's arguing a man down so that he doesn't have an opinion, when a woman argues a man to a point where he spends more time hiding in the garage away from his wife when they're not being intimate, or leaving the house early and coming back to the house late when they're not being intimate, she is not a valuable woman for that man. But the only time women have to behave like that in a relationship is when she did not get the man that she wanted. She accepted the man that was there. And that is a relationship out of convenience. He was paying her bills. She's providing him with companionship. It's convenient. She doesn't trust his judgment. He's wasteful. He spends all of his extra money on her. He's wasteful. They can't build wealth together. He's wasteful. They're living from paycheck to paycheck, and sometimes they don't make enough money because he's wasteful. He's wasting his money on her entertainment. She's not satisfied with him. They don't have enough. They both work too hard, and they never have enough time for each other because every time they get extra money, he's spending extra money on something for her. And God forbid he spends the extra money on something for him. She doesn't trust his judgment. So they're going to argue. Every time he decides to make a financial decision, she's going to talk him out of it because she doesn't respect his opinion. So I'm not going to say no disrespect. If you feel disrespected by that, that's on you. At the end of the day, if you pick the man that you trust his judgment, you treat finding a man like finding a lawyer. Why are you going to pay 30, 40, $50,000 a year for a lawyer that you don't trust? You should buy the same kind of lawyer that OJ bought. How many times did OJ have to talk for himself in court? None. How many times should a woman talk for herself in front of her husband in public? None. Why? Because she picked the man that represents her the best. If she wants something done when he's not there, she can speak up. If she wants something done when he's there, she should tell him. So that if he got to fight somebody to get her what she needs, she don't have to get her feet dirty. She don't have to break a nail. She don't have to lose an eyelash. She can just stand there and wait till he makes it happen. I tell y'all all the time that the queen never makes the first move on a chessboard. So, likewise, though, the queen has more work to do conquering the board on behalf of the king. So, she's supposed to keep her king safe by squaring away all of his basic needs. And then he is supposed to use his army of resources to make sure that he conquers whatever she needs. But that's still teamwork and mutual respect. But feminism in modern 2026 has thrown mutual respect out of the window. It is one sided unconditional surrender. And if we do not get the unconditional surrender, then we do not have a satisfied woman. But that contradiction is a problem for her more than it is a problem for him because she doesn't respect the man that does not behave in a masculine sense. And a man that is giving 100% submission to a woman is not behaving in a masculine sense. So why want a man to bow down to you when you don't respect that? But if a woman bowed down to a man would appreciate that. So don't ask for what you don't want. You want a leader, let him lead. You want a decisive man, do as you're told. Follow his instructions. Go the direction that he says go. Even if he doesn't know which direction to go, you follow his lead. And then when you see he going in the wrong direction, you just tap him on the shoulder and let him know that the turn we needed was back there on the left. So whenever you decide to go back to that, I'm just here for the ride. We were supposed to make a right on Montgomery and we passed Montgomery. All you got to do is say, babe, our right turn is on Montgomery Avenue, and that was 3 blocks ago. That's it. Whenever he decided to turn around, that's on him. But for you to tell him, no, slow down, speed up, you're going the wrong way, blah, 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 blah. Like, really? You don't trust his judgment. Women that backseat drive with a man, you don't trust his driving skills. But weren't you supposed to be paying attention to that before you picked him? If he don't drive right, why are you riding in the car with him? You know what I mean? Like I said, deadly combination, the queen and the king. Only when they're working together, bro. Only when they're working together. Now I got a few of these comments that's going to be coming up here. We're going to listen to some of them. If y'all got questions along the way, please feel free to throw down on some questions and ask them. Let's see what we got going on with the first question here.
My boyfriend is gorgeous, gets constant attention. I'm jealous. He is 29 years old, but he has a young-looking face. He turns heads all the time but pretends like he doesn't notice, and when I point it out to him, he laughs and says I'm delusional. I'm 23. For reference, he has straight, shiny dark brown hair and deep dark brown round eyes and thick lips. He has a round face, which I think contributes to the youthful look. He is a little on the taller side, skinny or slim, long legs, broad shoulders. Several people have asked him if he is part Asian, but he is Irish and Italian, so kind of racially ambiguous looking, but actually just white. He has this birthmark on his cheek and a few other small ones that aren't as big on his face. I asked him if any girls at school have stared at him or asked him out, and he said no, but I know for a fact that he gets hit on and got hit on all the time by men and women. I wish he would just be honest with me and admit that he gets attention. It's annoying to feel like he doesn't tell me because he's afraid I'll get insecure. The truth is I do get insecure because I know that he gets a lot of attention from other women and he doesn't even feel comfortable admitting it. He knows I'm jealous, too, so I think it makes him uncomfortable. I mean, he has guy friends that get weird with him too. The worst part is their girlfriends sneaking glances at my boyfriend when we go to hang out with his friends and being super weird with him in all sorts of ways. It's honestly annoying at this point, and I'm kind of tired of it.
Well, okay, so first of all, men don't get complimented as much as you think. So, an attractive man is not going to know that he's an attractive man because an attractive man doesn't have 100,000 girls telling him that he's attractive every day of the week. Um, a man in a relationship that is committed to his woman and trying his best to present the monogamous dynamic is not paying attention to other people. So if the women are gawking at him or throwing themselves at him and flirting with him and stuff to that effect, he's ignoring it all. He's in a relationship. Likewise, back in school, he didn't give a shit if all the girls are fawning over him because he was trying to get his stuff done. Going to college, make something out of himself. The woman that he got is the woman that he wants. He's only paying attention to her. And that woman is jealous of all the other women around the world. Now, you want him to give you a level of arrogance. Yeah, I know I'm the shit. Yeah, I know these bitches like me. And that's going to make you even more uncomfortable and insecure because you're insecure and he's ignoring it. He's ignoring it and you're insecure. So if he entertained the flirtatious behavior from other women, if he acknowledged the attention that he's getting from other women while he's in a relationship with you, you would feel even more jealous and even more insecure. So he can't win here. He can't win here. If he does nothing, you're unsatisfied because he doesn't acknowledge the attention. And if he does something, you're going to like it even less. My respectful advice to you is if you don't like having an attractive man because the attractive man gets way more attention than you're comfortable with, then date an unattractive man. You said that you're dating a slim man with a strong structured jawline. Go date you an overweight man with a jacked up jawline. Get you a guy that no other girl wants to talk to. Go find you go find one of those guys that works in a comic book store for a living. You know, remember Barney from The Simpsons? Go get one of those guys and just deal with that. But if you've got a quality man, look, there goes one right here, 72 years old. Go get this guy. Michael will rock your world. The, but understand that Michael's got a calendar on his door that's full of women that's going to stop by later this month. So you got to understand, you can either be the only one or one of many. It's up to you. But as far as your female friends that are flirting with or gawking at your man, I know girl code is almost exactly like guy code. Y'all just function differently. At the end of the day, if your female friends are paying too much attention to your man, you one need to stop associating with them women while you with your man, and two might need to find you some different friends because if in those scenarios, he said, don't push the grave yet. Did you sign my calendar? I don't know, but if you're in a situation where you start behaving incorrectly, pushing your man away, your man starts looking for outside of your relationship what's not inside of your relationship, you already know three, five, seven of your female friends right in arm's reach of your man is willing to sleep with your man. The same way a man in the friend zone would sleep with you as soon as your boyfriend mess up is the same way your female best friends will smash your boyfriend when you mess up. So recognizing this, you want to put more distance between your man and your girls. Straight up. That's how you protect your interests. You don't want him talking to strange women in public. You should not have him getting comfortable with your female friends in your house. That's just my perspective. Because the people say keep your enemies closer than you keep your friends. And the reason is because your enemy, you watching them to make sure that they don't fuck you over. But see your friends, they got the keys to the back door. They got the GPS location of the body buried in the backyard. They know all of the ways to sabotage you. They know all of the ways to set you up. They got all of the ways to cause you to fail because you just trust your friends too much. But your enemies, you're probably safer with your enemies because at least your enemies are gonna watch you from a safe distance. Your friends, those are the ones that are get and you see it all the time with the gang violence. Dude beefing with you is not gonna come at you directly. He gonna put a briefcase of cash on the table and pay your closest buddy to take you out. So the person sitting in the car next to you is gonna pull that hit off, not the person beefing with you. Because the person beefing with you just wants your life to end. He don't care how it happens. So he is going to protect himself by being far away from you when the hit happens. Because your enemy is not nearly as dangerous as your closest friend. the person you trust the most. So with that logic, if you understand that your friends coming over and they doing too much when your man is in the house, don't bring your friends over to the house no more. You go hang out with them at their place. You go hang out with them. You tell your man, hey, we're gonna go eat at Olive Garden or some shit. We're gonna go have dinner somewhere. We're gonna go play at the park. We're gonna go block burn around the neighborhood, go sit at the beach or some shit. But you don't bring them home. He says, honey, I'm on my way home. All right, well, we're finishing up right now. My friends are about to leave. So by the time your husband get home, all your girlfriends is gone. I don't care if they having husband problems, they can't come sleep on your couch. None of that. Protect yourself, protect your relationship. Because if you don't, you're gonna hate your man because he smashed your best friend. But you gotta understand that opportunity comes at a cost. And the ultimate opportunist will do the best he can to have 130 baby mamas and 245 kids. So you ain't getting no kids from him yet. He's falling behind. The laws of natural selection, the genetically fit has a larger contribution to the gene pool. In order for you to have a large contribution to the gene pool, you have to produce more kids. Women that are stopping at 1 to 3 kids or aborting all the kids until they're 40, that man is not going to have a strong genetic history because you aren't willing to give him that. Meet him halfway. You keep the emotional bond with him and let him have 18 other baby mamas. That ain't you. You can babysit all them little bastards, but don't stop him from reaching his legacy. Any man that says that I want 5 or 7 kids, I want to have my own starting lineup, that's 11 to 15 kids. Fine, you can have that, but you better grab 5 other bitches that's going to do that for you because I'm not doing that. I'll pick them for you, but I'm not doing it. If y'all have that mentality, tag in. I'm trying to tell y'all, ladies, they got stunt devils in movies. I don't know why y'all don't have stunt devils in relationships. Look at the women in Dubai. Look at the women in Dubai. 7, 8, 9 women to one man. And they're more successful together than one woman and one man in America. It's crazy. The gene pool is gonna get depleted because ain't nobody doing that with the between porn and self gratification and all the OnlyFans girls and everybody taking it to the back of the throat instead of actually reproducing. You're losing a larger quantity of generation. The the funniest thing is the other countries around the world that had a good structure for population control have changed their dynamic and promoted births by providing incentives for childbearing. But all America did was just ban abortion. We were that reckless with our decision making that if we would not have aborted the 40 to 60% of the children that we were aborting every year, our population would probably be 40 to 60% higher than what it is now. And considering all of the bullshit we got going on right now with 385 million people that actually did get born, could you imagine 40 to 60% more Americans in America that if abortion would not have been here? We would have been upward of 500,000 people, 500 million people in this country if abortion wasn't a thing, right? But with 500 million people in America, it's still not the 4 billion people in Asia. You know what I mean? Half the world's population is over there. Where's the great population control? It is. And I could have sworn that Donald Trump was talking about that one lawless day. I was really hoping for that one lawless day. If he puts in an executive order for a one lawless day, I swear I will book a flight to wherever I gotta be at to meet those needs inside of 24 hours in that one lawless day. Crazy. They're gonna have to come look for me after the fact because during that one lawless day where there's no retaliation after the fact, no legal consequences after the fact, whatever it is you do and you get done, one lawless day, I tell you what, all morals and ethics are out of the window. And that is a really good population control. But do you know that we would probably function better like that? Because you would be acting right. You would be acting right. 364 days out of the year, you would be acting right because you know that one day coming that if you ended up on somebody naughty list for being an asshole, that they can come and get you that day. It's crazy, but we'll see. We got two more years. He might actually do it. They put it in the movies before they bring it to life. So let all right. Let's dive into the next one. Let's dive into the next one.
I
Got a
think I'm
lot of
not in love with my husband anymore. We've
oh
been
shit.
married for more than a year after 5 years together. I used to believe we were soulmates, but marriage has changed him. He prioritizes every friends, men and women, and overnight hang out over our life together. I've tried every hobby imaginable to fill the silence while he's gone, but nothing replaces his presence. That loneliness has curdled into hatred. I no longer see a future with him. Instead, I find myself dreaming of a quiet, happy life alone with just my dogs. I've realized I don't just want to be alone. I've learned I don't actually need him.
My mom just said, "We love you guys," twice over the phone to my husband and I, and
Hold on. That's a second person. All right. First things first. With the last person, you got married long time ago, and he ain't off to war. He left the house so that he wouldn't be in war. That's what the hell happened. I was just about to paint the picture for you, but you jumped the gun for me, Michael. No, he ain't off the war. He left. You're y'all got married long time ago. He stopped staying at home with your ass, and he started finding reasons to not be at home. At the house, the shit you did not want to do as a wife is the reason why he ain't at the house with you. And now you trying to do hobbies and occupy your time and everything except satisfy your husband. And because you don't want to satisfy him and he don't want to pay the cost to divorce you, he just don't be home no more. It's peaceful in the house if you ain't bitching. So to keep you from bitching, I'm not coming back until it's time to go to bed. I'm gonna find something to do somewhere with somebody. Seize the ball and chain because I feel like a prisoner in my own home. You understand? When a man is not happy, a man will separate himself from the lack of happiness. That is self-preservation. Now I need to clip that. When a man is not happy, a man will separate himself from the things that he's not happy with. So if he's not happy with you, he's gonna spend less time with you. He should communicate more, but instead of building resentment, you should figure out a way to fix why he's not home. You got plenty of time to do it because you at home all damn day, or at least more often than you want to be by yourself. But instead of developing resentment because the man does not want to be with you because you get on his damn nerves, like I told Celia when she was here, I said prioritize your man. Find out what he wants, find out what he likes, find out what he needs, and start doing it without question. He will come home more often because he finally feels respected. He will put in more effort in the relationship because he finally feels appreciated. He will put more effort into you because you're finally putting effort into him. Women believe that they're supposed to be catered for their entire life without reciprocation, especially after they get married. But it is a two-party effort. If you don't put effort into your husband, he will get tired of your bullshit and he will find every reason to go everywhere else and just not be around you. He's not going to divorce you. Keep her to keep her, but he ain't going to put up with your bullshit. Like I said, distancing yourself from the relationship to avoid conflict. That's exactly right. Conflict avoidance. If every time I come home you bitching, I'm going to spend more time away from the house. The more time I spend away from the house, when I come back, the more you're going to bitch about it, the more I'm going to leave. If you stop bitching and make my house a home instead of a war zone, then I will have more reasons to come home. That's how you fix that problem. It ain't what he's doing, it's what you're not doing. And this is where affairs start. Let's go ahead and touch base with the one that was just about to get rolling.
and I
Y'all
feel
like and
sick
subscribe.
now. So basically, I love my parents very much now and we have a good relationship overall. But growing up, they were very emotionally unavailable and pretty much abusive to the extent that you would get CPS involved almost. My mother was the worst, though. She had issues with my weight constantly. She compared me to my cousins, would get aunts and uncles to join in, and would call me fat all the time thinking that would help me lose weight somehow. It gave me a
Wow.
very strong eating disorder as a teenager as well as a face-picking OCD disorder that was triggered by me
What?
just hating looking at myself in the mirror. I had horrible childhood obesity and was basically bullied my entire life for it, especially at school. Fast forward, I
Oh
was
Lord.
finally able to get away when I found a college over 60 miles of commuting away. She was still a horrible person to me each time I'd drive home, but it got less
Mhm.
and less that I would see her because for once I found freedom in just staying late at school. I found my husband at
Okay.
college and the rest is pretty much history as we both now have really great jobs around the area and don't really have to visit my parents if ever. My mom
Okay.
never said, "I love you," to any of her 3 kids growing up. She actually took pride in knowing that about her.
You need a
She
lot of
promised
care.
the only time we'd hear her say that is on her deathbed when it mattered most. I used to think she just hated me, my sister and brother or something, so I completely stopped hoping she'd eventually say it and decided to just guard my emotions since it felt easier to. It's been
Okay.
about 8 years now since I've been living on my own and now my parents and I have a pretty good relationship where my mom seems to have really toned down her. I don't even know what to call it. Bullying? Anger? But yeah. She seems normal now, you could even say. So come to today. She's been the primary for the phone lines in our phone plan for over 16 years now. We added my husband a few months ago and things have been going good except for the hotspot issue that we need for work. I called and told her about it and for once she didn't complain and actually sounded like she'd do it right away. I told her it's not a big deal just when she gets the chance and I'd pay her for whatever it'll cost extra a month on top of the cell bill. Before we got off the phone, my dad said in the background, "I love you." Something he actually picked up saying after his mom died a few years ago. But then suddenly mom said it too. Maybe not quite the same way, but she said, "Yes. Yes. We love you both too. We love you both." She said it twice. Like what the actual F? I immediately hung up the phone after quickly and awkwardly saying, "I love you guys too." But I'm left with this strange feeling that feels almost toxic to hear. Like my ears were violated in some capacity. What does she know about love for me? This woman has terrorized me my entire life for just everything that I am. And it wasn't just me either. She terrorized my other 2 siblings as well in her
Exactly.
own weird mental and emotional way, whether it was hating my sister for looking like my dad's side of the family or hating my brother because he came out of the closet. But she finally said, "Love," to me. Maybe not exactly, "I love you," but she said it. Like, I have no idea. I now have a hard time accepting it when people say, "I love you," because I too now feel it's meaningless and I know that thinking is poison from my mother. But I can't help
Mhm.
but feel grossed out by anyone that isn't my husband saying, "I love you" to me. My mom saying it doesn't give me warm feelings. Feels gross and wrong. Like it doesn't mean anything at all and I'd rather her say, "I hate you," than any version of "I love you." I just can't believe she said it.
Okay, that one was pretty long. Okay, so, so yes, they need a lot of family therapy. This long distance relationship is crazy. But if mama and them been paying for your fucking phone bill for 16 years, you married with a husband that ain't paying your phone bill, your mama and them paying your phone bill, they're trying to make amends for their fucked up behavior when y'all were younger. Doesn't make what they did in the past right. But like Michael said, they're getting old, and because they're getting old, they realize at some point that they was fucking up, and they can't make it right. They can't take it back, but they can try to do better going forward. um they're like Michael said, they're getting closer to death. Death probably knocked on the door quite a few times over the last few years, and you just didn't know it because you don't talk to them anymore. Somebody probably went and got a colonoscopy and seen a lump or something. You just don't understand it. Somebody might be developing some early stages of some stuff that's going to take them out sooner than they expected. And at the or because like you said, dad just experienced his mom dying, and after grandma died and they seen a relationship that they could have had with you, they realize that they are the reason why you don't come around them anymore, and they don't want to not have that time with you as you get older. At the end of the day, they're not going they can't make it right, but at the end of the day they're trying to do better, right? So I'm not saying to forgive them, I'm not saying to forget, In order for you to move on emotionally, you have to be able to forgive them and let it go. That doesn't excuse what they did to you. The therapy will help you get through it. But at the end of the day, you gotta recognize that the more you harbor that hatred and resentment, the harder it's gonna be for you as a parent when you have kids. Oh yeah, she never grew up. She never grew up. If she's still living on her mama and them phone bill, she never grew up. Why she married a man that can't afford to take her off of her mama phone bill and put him on their own family plan? I don't give a damn if you saving 30, $40 a month on being on mama and them phone plan. You grown and married. There is no reason why your husband is not covering your phone bill. Now, ladies, look, I'm a masculine man from a male's perspective. I too have expectations for men, but I also equally have expectations for women. So my dynamic is that if she got a good man, he should be paying her phone bill. She should not have him on her mama's phone bill. But that's the way they are. They have not matured. He's not doing enough in my personal perspective because he should have had his own phone bill when he came into this relationship because he had a phone. I would assume in 2025, I would assume 95% of Americans have phones. I could be wrong, but I'm just going off of an assumption. 95 of Americans got phones. So outside of the toddlers, because a lot of parents these days be handing their cell phone to their babies, and their babies ain't even old enough to walk, and they know how to get on YouTube and watch videos. You know what I mean? They over there doing TikTok dances at 6 and 7 years old. So before they even know how to enroll in the elementary school, they know how to log onto their TikTok platform. So enough people got a phone. Why you adding him onto your phone bill to save money? Shit, y'all should double down on the phone bill for the two of y'all because it's gonna only prorate what $35 a month per extra phone line. So there ain't no reason for y'all to have all that shit. He okay. Like I said, most kids hate their parents, but at some time you may realize they actually are great. But that comes with time and experience. It really does. It really, really does. You might find yourself 50 years old recognizing that your parents still get on your damn nerves, that you don't like the space they take up. But what you also understand is that you still prioritize bringing your ass around them on a regular basis because no matter how much they get on your damn nerves, they matter to you enough for you to be where they can get on your damn nerves because that's how y'all express yourselves to one another. At the end of the day, whatever you can get out of the situation, that's what you're going to get. We have family reunions where we go to hang out with people that we don't like because we do have value with them. He said, everyone is in different consciousness. That could be the case. Parents will always see you as kids, no matter how old you are. Yeah, that's your child. You just big kids now. You just big kids now, right? But once they reach that grown stage, once they reach that grown stage, hey, you do you the way you do you. I don't have to condone that. I'm always gonna be here for you for things that are done responsibly, but things that are done irresponsibly, don't call me on Sunday trying to make no collect call thinking I'm gonna bail your ass out. I'm not gonna do it. I am not going to do it. I don't got time for that shit. Let's go ahead and see what the next one is.
I met my girlfriend in high school during an interaction event between my all-boys school and her all-girls school. We only spoke for about 90 seconds, but we both became interested in each other. Later, through a mutual friend, I found out she had a crush on me, so I added her on social media. We talked all day the next day and admitted we liked each other. However, because we both had strict parents, she stopped talking to me for a few weeks. We later reconnected after she heard about an award I received at school, and after 3 months, we officially became boyfriend and girlfriend during our first date. Our early relationship had some unusual circumstances. Our first few dates happened in hotels where we would mostly talk, eat, and kiss. This continued for about 6 months, even though I preferred more typical dates like going to parks or restaurants. When COVID-19 started, we became long distance for about a year and a half. Later, I moved to the United States for school, and eventually she came as well. Since she could not find an apartment in time, we began living together. In the
Uh-oh.
beginning, things went well. We shared responsibilities like cooking and daily chores. However, when my mom came to stay with us, problems started. My girlfriend became upset whenever I spent time talking to my mom, even when it was just before going to sleep. This created tension for several months, and I eventually tried to avoid talking to my mom around her to prevent arguments. After my mom left and we moved to a new apartment, my girlfriend gradually stopped helping with cooking and cleaning. I ended up doing most of the household work during the summer, which I did not mind at first. However, when school started and I had late classes, I expected that she would help more around the house, such as preparing food. Instead, she often spent most of her time on her phone planning travel destinations for social media photos. Another issue was the heating in the apartment. She preferred to keep the temperature very high, around 78 degrees Fahrenheit, while wearing shorts and a t-shirt even in winter. When I asked if we could lower the heat and wear warmer clothes instead, she refused
Seems to be the issue.
and told me to deal with it by wearing less or going outside. When I eventually got a car, we started traveling frequently. However, most of these trips were focused on taking pictures for social media rather than enjoying the experience together. We would wake up at 5 a.m., drive to a location, take photos for an hour, and leave immediately. Over time, our relationship began to feel less like a partnership and more like living with a roommate. Financially, she does not contribute to rent because she works very little, and my mom currently pays the $1,300 monthly rent. Despite this, conflicts have occurred between my girlfriend and my mom, although my mom continues to treat her kindly and support her. After living together for 3 years, I began to seriously consider breaking up because our relationship lacks communication, shared responsibilities, and emotional connection. When I tried to break up with her in the past, she threatened self-harm, which made it very difficult for me to follow through. Recently, when I brought it up again, she cried and asked for another chance. She
Oh
also
my
informed her parents about the situation, and they have tried contacting me. Her parents have also been pressuring us to get engaged this summer, which has added even more pressure, especially since they have been encouraging engagement since we first moved to the United States when I was 19. Although she is loyal and has some positive qualities, I feel that she has become emotionally reactive, unwilling to contribute to shared responsibilities,
It's like a
and
lot.
often ungrateful. I care about her and feel sad seeing her cry, but I also feel uncertain about whether continuing the relationship is the right decision. Because we still live in the same apartment, taking space from each other has been very difficult.
Okay, that took a lot of time. That took a lot of stress out of me. So, first I'm gonna say make sure that y'all like and subscribe and start wearing out those reaction buttons. Just mash the bejesus out of those reaction buttons while we about to get over here and get reckless on this conversation right here. Now, I thought, like Michael said, that she was gonna start ghosting them. Nah, y'all come from another country where y'all didn't have what y'all got in America. She came over here to America and she became what they call Americanized. You lost your authority as a man in your relationship and you lost the respect from her as the leader and provider in your relationship when you moved your mama into your house. You didn't move your mama into your house as a favor to your mama per se because your mama is carrying all of y'all's bills. So you went from being independent to y'all being dependents of your mama. Your woman is not the head bitch in the house no more. That is now your mama. Your mama run things. Your mama make decisions. So this little girl now has to submit to your mama. You have to choose between your mama and your woman, like Michael said before. Now, when we look at y'all's interactions with one another now y'all don't really go nowhere to say y'all are going to enjoy life with one another. You're driving her like a chauffeur to her photo shoot for her social media platform because she lives her life through social media. She might even take couples photos with you for her image online so that her family back home thinks that y'all are living a good life, but she ain't happy with you because you're not carrying yourself the way a masculine man is expected to carry himself. Now, the other half of this, she don't want to go nowhere else because she ain't found nobody better, not because she can't do better. She is going to put you in an awkward situation by threatening self-harm. Make sure y'all like and subscribe because this part is going to get reckless. Michael said, I wonder if they all sleep in the same bed. No, I'm pretty sure that mom has her own room and if those two sleep in the same bed, that's probably it. But odds are they got a three-bedroom and all three of them have a separate bedroom. So they're roommates for the sake of, and just one of the three of them ain't paying no bills. Now, as it pertains to the gaslighting behavior of individuals that swear that they're going to do something to themselves if you leave, Eminem made this awesome song about how I will watch you burn. All I'm saying is, like Michael said, 811, if I am not happy and I want to end this scenario, you harming yourself is not going to delay my departure. In fact, if you plan on harming yourself in my presence, you have until the Uber gets here to get that started. I am not going to help you, but I am not going to stop you. I'm going to try my best to be out the door before you successfully perform the task so that I am not held legally responsible for not calling 911 on your behalf after you have lost consciousness for yourself. Now, if you take yourself out in a scenario where my ex could not live without me, that is not going to be guilt on my conscience because that will lead me to egotistically believe that my ex cannot live without me and she is an ex. So he said, Mama's got your man's balls. Look, your parents will take care of the whole tribe. It is what it is. Whether you go move in and live with your daddy or you move in and live with your mama. But the difference is that if you move in and live with your daddy might sleep with your girlfriend because your daddy's paying all the bills and she's going to go towards the most masculine man in the group. That's just primal instinct. But two women in the house, the female head of household would be mom genetically. But in this situation, it's mom financially. Mom becomes a dependent when the boyfriend and the girlfriend are taking care of the house and mom is not providing into the house and mom has to submit to the authority of the girlfriend or the boyfriend or the husband or wife's dynamic. But when mom is covering all the bills, mom's the boss, which demotes the girlfriend. So while the girlfriend's got a job, she's not paying any bills because she doesn't have to. Mom's paying. But my question is, why the fuck you move your mama in your house in the first place? If your mama can pay your bills, why the fuck she not paying her bills living by herself? Where's your daddy at? What did she do to make your daddy leave her that you are getting a woman that is behaving exactly like your mom and making you want to leave her the way your dad left your mama? Because dynamically, men get women that resemble their mother. Women get men that resemble their father. Women with daddy issues, women that grew up without their father, end up selecting the type of man that they wish their father was. And that might be the type of man that was their mama's boyfriend. And if that's abusive, they go and get an abusive man. That's not what they need, but that's what they're attracted to. That's their type. Not gonna lie. Sometimes you got to find somebody that is not your type. He said, all three are shallow thinkers. You damn right. You damn right. It done fucked up the fucked upness for everybody. But when he realized that she was going to hurt herself to stay with him, if he was not just gonna leave and let her off herself, he should have went on and called one of those suicide prevention lines and had her committed and then leave her in that institution. And while she was in that institution, that first 72-hour Baker Rat scenario, you could have packed up everything and left. When she got discharged, she would have came back to the house. You and your mama would have been gone. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Because if she do decide to drown herself in your bathtub, it ain't about the fact that the police got to come and clean that up because they're not. They're going to come and get the body out of it and call it a suicide. You got to get the blood out of that tub, and y'all still got to use that tub. At the end of the day, it doesn't benefit you to be in a relationship where somebody gonna harm themselves, and you don't want to be in a resentful relationship because you're afraid of somebody harming themselves. But if their depression is that serious, the other concern that I have with it is what if she stops deciding harming herself and starts deciding to harm other people in the house? Her resentment against your mom could leave your mom in the bathtub one night. Her resentment against you could leave you not waking up in the morning. You don't need to be in that type of environment. All of them doing something. But so I told y'all that my response to that one was going to be a little bit wild. But y'all make sure that y'all like and subscribe and mash those reaction buttons because we got a lot of people rolling in. Let's go ahead and touch base with the next one. We got a few
Is
more.
this inappropriate for a married man? English is not my first language, and I have a hard time flirting in general, picking up on inside jokes and cues. Hence this post. Please help. This man is my whole heart. I trust that he may not have cheated, but these texts that I found on his phone, not proud of this, still made me very upset. My so recently went on a trip for a friend's wedding. Needless to say, lots of partying involved. I didn't go because I needed space, but deep inside I still feel super left out as this trip seemed to have had a profound impact on him. After he came back, he started being extremely nice to me, which made me suspicious because before the trip we were in an incredibly rough space. So I ventured on into his phone. They were calling each other Shorty and BB. At one point this lady said to him, "Can you get more beer? A B asterisk asterisk J asterisk asterisk is being offered for more beer," and he replied, "Got beer. You are going to get me into trouble," and both joking about who is more trouble. Toward the end of the conversation she asked him to bring food and said he'll get a kiss if he did, and he responded, "Got you." Lots of flirty emoji were involved. Is this normal wedding/party shenanigans, or does it cross a boundary in a marriage? I'm mostly upset because I want that playfulness in our marriage, and am upset he shared that intimate emotional space with someone else.
Okay, well, my first question is, why the fuck ain't you doing that with him? Since that's what you want. Second thing is, why the fuck was you going through his phone? That's none of your damn business. Third thing is that if he was out there with the bros or with some chick, and real quick, Michael, yeah, she sounded like she ain't had no problem with her English speaking. How old is she? I don't know. I don't know. She sounds like she grown. They've been, I guess, married for a minute, so she got to be over 18, but not old enough to know better. That what you don't do with your husband, he will do with somebody else. Y'all need to realize this. But here's the dynamic. Um, she clearly has this position of being nosy to find out where his man is at and what he's doing. But look, girl said thirsty, getting beers, you gonna get me in trouble. You gonna get me in trouble usually refers to all this alcohol I'm drinking. I'm gonna be drinking and driving. I'm gonna get in trouble. Not I'm gonna have an affair on my wife. You're gonna get me in trouble. Y'all got to understand. You're going to get me in trouble because I'm going to go home drunk and my girl's going to complain about the fact that I'm drunk. You're going to get me in trouble. Not I'm going to, muff dive on you and get myself in trouble kind of thing. So that kind of comment wasn't a thing. Shorty, That is not that's a term of endearment, but that is not sexual flirtatious like, oh, you're my side chick kind of thing. You can call a girl shorty instead of calling her a bitch, and that's kind of like because women don't like being called female, they don't like being called ma'am, they don't like being respected. It makes them feel old, but you can't call them a bitch either. So they can call themselves a bitch, but you can't call them a bitch. So I'm just kind of confused. Like, what else can we call you? So we run out of terms of endearment, and we end up with either pet names or nicknames or shorty. Shorty works. Shorty is mutually appropriate because you a female and I'm not into you like that, right? Now, she asked for the food. He said, got it. He didn't call her sweetheart. He didn't say love you, nothing like that. I miss you. Where you been all my life? None of that stuff. Sound to me like chick is being a little bit too flirtatious because they've been drinking, and you unfortunately are watching this man, like Michael said, like Karen, you watching this man's text messages, and you're just overthinking the situation. Me myself, I feel like if a woman believes that a man should not have communication with another woman while he's in a relationship, then that means women should not have communication with another man while they're in a relationship. That's my observation. But truth is that if in the event this is from my perspective an innocent dynamic, there isn't any text messages from him that is indicating any deceitful behavior. But if you're jealous about their dialogue because you don't have that, that is your fault, not his. And why am I going to say that it's your fault and not his? Because you wanted first person accountability. In order for you to want it, you need to change the way you talk to him so that you can get that. You don't talk to him that way. He doesn't respond to you that way. So, in order for you to get him to talk to you that way, you have to start engaging that type of dynamic with him by putting yourself in her shoes and talking like her. So, if you really want to do something, go hang out with that chick and find out how to talk to your man since she knows how to do it better. That'll fix your whole fucking problem. Then you can have a female best friend that can help you improve your marriage before he starts cheating on you with the other woman because she's willing to do what you're not doing. Just saying, throwing it out there. To overthink something is normal. Yes, yes. Anything that matters to you, you will overthink it. However, it is not what you're thinking that matters. It is what you do after you've thought about it. That's what matters. The intent behind your actions is important, but your actions is the most important thing that can happen after you thought about this and mowed it over for a little bit, right? So if it's going too far, then now is the time to sit your man down and say, hey, I was in your phone. I had seen these text messages. Don't be mad about the fact that I seen them. I just noticed that she's talking to you the way I want to talk to you, and I wanted to know how do we do that. Once he finds out that you not, because at first he's gonna be like, "What the fuck you doing in my phone?" Blah 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 blah. You be like, "Look, look, 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 look. I'm not fussing. I seen you talk to this chick a certain kind of way, and I wanted you to talk to me like that. How do we get that?" Soon as you put that out there on the table, he's like, oh, if that's what this is about, oh, girl, all you got to do is just do this, do that, do this, blah, 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 and just follow his instructions. As soon as you sit him down, like, look, I ain't trying to fuss. I ain't trying to pick no fight. I just seen this on your phone and I wanted this too. So, let's talk about this, right? As soon as you put it out there like that, like he's not in trouble, but he going to help you accomplish something. And you can even start the conversation that way. I ain't trying to pick no fight. I'm not trying to fuss at you. I seen something in your phone. I want to experience this too. I wanted to talk to you about it. So, when I explain to you what went down, don't get mad, right? You're setting up the dynamic of full transparency. Now, what is it? I seen the conversation between you and so, and I seen how y'all was talking to one another, and I wanted that between you, and I seen it with her, and I was like, damn, how come we don't have that? What can we do to get that? Oh, it's nothing between me and her. Well, I don't care what's going on with her. I want us to have that. I'm not worried about her. And that's when, well, then I will make sure to start doing this kind of stuff with you. You can call me this, you can say that, blah, blah, blah. We can develop pet names for one another. If we don't have that, you know, you can negotiate these things, but it requires you to be open and honest with your partner. It requires you to be respectful. So, since you found this information out, and the key thing that I got out of what you said was you want what the other woman has in your man. So, full transparency comes with no resentment, no retaliation, and no judgment. When you go tell him what's going on, you break it down to him that he's not in trouble, and you hope that he's not going to hold you responsible for what you went and found out, because you all you want is an addition in your communication log between him. The same communication that you've seen with her, you just want that. That's all you want. You're not asking him to stop doing that with her. You're asking him to start doing that with you, right? So he ain't got to do nothing but show you how to get it done. That's easy. That's easy. Probably the easiest one we'd have had all night. Let's go ahead and talk base with the next one.
I, 21F, have an older sister, 23F, and a twin sister as well. Growing up, my older sister always seemed to get a leg up in many things. My parents definitely favored her. It never helped that I was diagnosed autistic from a very young age, so it was clear nobody really had patience or empathy for that. She's beautiful, intelligent, and charismatic, and has never had a problem finding a BF or a life-changing opportunity. I have pretty much lived in her shadow. Most problems in her life don't last very long. She's been nothing but lucky and successful. My twin sister and I are super close, but whenever she and my older sister are together, they always get cliquey and exclude me from activities they do. Plus, whenever I try to join in on the fun, they shut me down and say I'm being too loud and talking too much. Obviously, I get upset because I have heard the same patronizing language from my parents and now them. Then they get offended and annoyed that I'm upset. I'm starting to really resent my sisters for that. I feel like the black sheep of the family. My older sister is getting married in November, and from the moment I found out, I've been crushed and green with envy. I cried until my nose bled. Of course, Miss Perfect is getting married to an equally perfect guy. He came out of nowhere, a dating app. And I'm wondering how the hell, because my experience with dating apps has been horrible. Rejection, ghosting.
Okay, so jealous. That's basically what the problem is here. Um, Mind your own damn business. That's how you fix your fucking problem. That's what we're gonna start off right there. We're just gonna start off right there because you are not going to hold a candle to your idolization of another person. You're not. The more you put somebody else on a pedestal, the harder it is for you to meet that expectation for your damn self. So let's stop worrying about her and you start worrying about you as it pertains to your relationships with them. They might feel like you're a little bit too loud. I'm loud. I recognize when I hear my voice echoing off the walls in this room that I probably should lower my tone because it is in the middle of the night right now. However, I also recognize that I talk too much. So instead of me talking too much with other people, and then when they start toning out or they change the subject or they start looking like they want to walk away from the conversation, I realize based on their body language and mannerisms, I might have been talking too long. If I think about it, if I have only heard my own voice for so long in the in-person conversation, I realize I need to shut up and let somebody else get a word in edgewise. What I usually do when I'm in a group of individuals, instead of me being the first one to speak, I'm the last one to chip in. If somebody doesn't ask me what I got to say about the situation, I usually let everybody put their opinion in first. And if my response takes up as much time as everybody else's response combined, I'm still the last person to talk. So the conversation only keeps going because I said something. Now, these are ways that I change how I interact with individuals so that I am not as loud or as talkative as I used to be. But I started a podcast so that I could sit 4 or 5 hours listening to myself talk every day of the week. And no matter how tired I am, I can be here an hour to 6 hours a night on this podcast talking because I talk too fucking much. So don't be ashamed of that. Be proud of it. Be proud of it. Now, as it pertains to finding somebody on dating apps, it is easy for a woman to find a man on a dating app. All you got to do is say yes. It is hard for you to keep that man when you meet him in person, because now you have to perform. If she is willing to do what her husband wants her to do for him to marry her, that's why she's got a husband. If you are not willing to do or not able to do what your husband would have wanted you to do or your boyfriend would have wanted you to do, that's why you're not getting married. So, on your dates, find out what men want, find out what you're not doing that is convincing him to not want to continue pursuing you. You go on a first date that he's not interested anymore, do a termination census. Well, what about our interactions did you not like? Whatever he tells you, don't lash out. Use that as data to help you improve yourself. Each time you are rejected, if they're willing to communicate with you further after the rejection, you want to make sure that you find out from that person why they rejected you. Well, I understand that you're not interested in me anymore. I really appreciate your time. Can you at least tell me 1 to 3 things as to why you're no longer interested? Period. You don't even have to respond to their response. But if they put down a response and then you say, thank you for your input, I really appreciate it. Enjoy your the future endeavors or whatever the case may be. And letting them know that you read it. Either way, maturity, you have to grow the fuck up and you have to recognize that your sister's life is not your life. Your sister's relationship with your other sister is not you. Mind your own damn business, because every person in society can compare themselves to somebody more successful. Everybody in the bottom 75% of America compare themselves to Donald Trump and Donald Trump's wife. You're going to feel like shit because they're billionaires and everybody else is under $100,000 a year living from paycheck to paycheck with more debt than Donald Trump's got money. So there's no reason why we should be comparing ourselves to somebody that we're not going to hold a candle to in our lifetime. Realistically, we fawn over celebrities. For what? They call it being starstruck because we're jealous that rich people have rich lives. Rich people have rich lives because they've done things that made them rich. Poor people have poor lives because we spend all of our fucking money and then we start doing it so that we can look rich, so that people can be jealous of the stuff that we paid for, but we ain't got no more fucking money left. These are the issues that we have. There's no reason why these issues exist. We're just so busy trying to, what they call it, keep up with the Joneses, keep up with the Jeffersons, charging it to the Underhills. All of these terminologies of us living above our means in order to compete with somebody else that should not matter to us at all. How do you fix that? Mind your own damn business. Don't give a fuck about her marriage. What you crying till your nose bleeds? She ain't crying. You are supposed to be happy that your sister got a man that's not beating her ass like Chris Brown. You should be happy that your sister is not the 23rd girlfriend for Chris Brown, knowing that he beat up the other 22. Now, if you're the sister of the twin, you've got an advantage because if y'all are attracted to the same dude and she's willing to share, I just seen a news report just the other day where this woman was swapping out her sister with her husband every other week. This man been married for 16 years and did not know that he had both of them alternating. That's gold. I don't understand how he ain't know that the poom poom felt different every now and again. But the fact of the matter is that the two of them shared the same husband. So if you and your twin sister got the same taste in men, you technically don't have to find nobody. She can find them, and y'all can share. Long as you taking care of it, don't matter. And if y'all make sure that he know about it out the gate, most men don't complain because that is the Fabergé egg. That is the winged unicorn of every man's fantasy. Twins and sisters. And there's three of y'all. So I mean, most men are not gonna say no, autistic or not. It's like, I get to smash both of them. If y'all are both equally hot, what? It is what it is. But it is up to you to hold yourself to a higher level of self-respect, hold yourself to a higher level of dignity, and then go find what you're looking for. And don't compare yourself to the other people in your house because the other people in your house ain't got shit to do with your success. They're not holding you back. You are holding you back. So the whole time that you are destroying your own self-esteem, like Cat Williams said, your self-esteem is the esteem of your motherfucking self. So why are you beating yourself up because your older sister is getting married. You're not like the other woman who was being told that she was fat her whole childhood. You are just beating yourself up just for the sake of it. Cut that shit out. Hold yourself with pride. And then when you hold yourself with pride, more men are going to be like, ooh, she has integrity. You're going to find somebody, because no matter how big you is or how small you is, no matter how tall you is, no matter how short you is, somebody going to want you. And most men are sleep with you. All you got to do is figure out which one you're going to commit to. But don't pretend like you something that you're not. You got a little bit of autism, and that autism show up. Put that shit on your fucking profile so that they know before they meet you that you're going to be a little bit weird. And if they're willing to play through it, see where it goes. First person to commit to the bullshit, that's the one you marry. And since you feel like it's so hard to find somebody, when you find one that's willing to put up with your bullshit, you put in extra effort to keep that one. That's how you fix that problem. Now, let's go ahead and touch base with the next one. Make sure that y'all like and subscribe and mash those reaction buttons if y'all still here rocking the channel. We got to think one or two more.
Everyone in this conundrum is an adult. Female, and I'm a male. My college classmate wears gothic princess-style clothing. She has been wearing really short skirts lately, and when I was going up the stairs today and she was in front, I accidentally caught a full view and looked away. But she wasn't wearing anything underneath. We aren't on talking terms. Just classmates. I'm like fully towards just letting it be. Her body. Her choice. I don't want to assume, but I find it a bit hard to buy she put that outfit on today without realizing you could at least be seen from even the slightest angle and choosing commando at that point. Maybe exhibitionist, but again, assumptions. I am not the moral or modesty police and would have no idea how to even bridge such a conversation without being called a pervert or creepy even if we were friends. Excuse me, miss, we can all see your cooch when you go upstairs or bend even slightly. So I'd rather not. Not worth the social fallout. I'll just mind my own business. What would others do?
That's a good question. Hold on a second. Fellas, you got a group of female friends. You're the only dude in the friend group. If you got a friend that got a skirt that's just a little bit too short, she decides to rock it commando. You following her up the stairs, whether it's an escalator or whatever. You just so happen to notice the commando. She might even bend over to tie her shoe while she's up the stairs in front of you. So you not only know the commando, you see the print of the commando, bare skin. Are you going to A, tell her, B, stare, get a memory of it, and take care of business later, or C, say something about it? I mean, do say nothing about it and look away. Or D, try to hook up with her. Because I mean, if she's rocking commando, it's not that hard. My thought is, if she is wearing these types of outfits, she is wearing these types of outfits deliberately to attract sexual attention. She might be wearing these types of outfits in your presence specifically because she wants your sexual attention. She knew she was commando when she decided to walk up the stairs in front of you. She would have to reasonably understand that anybody behind her would likely be able to see everything she's got to offer. Whether she's an exhibitionist or she just really wants you to get into her pants or under her skirt in this particular situation. Regardless of the fact, you have to decide, are you attracted to her in that way or not? If you are attracted to her in that way, instead of mentioning the commando, see where it goes, because the commando might lead y'all to easy access in a bathroom stall somewhere. If you're not interested, that is your female friend. You can be a gentleman and you can cover it up so that other people can't see and you're not tempted to look. Me, I don't go nowhere with women that dress like that. So if I find that you're commando, when she looks behind her, I'm going to be gone. I would have already gotten my good look because I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to look. I'm a man. I'm get my good look and be able to remember it. I'll be able to dream about it when I go to sleep at night. But I am not going to go anywhere with her looking like that while I look like this. That's not going down. I make it a point, no matter how attractive the women are in my company, that they will carry themselves to the same level of appropriate attire as I am. If they do not, I will not accompany them and they will not accompany me. So I am not going to tell, because these are my female friends, I'm not going to tell them how to dress. I am just going to tell them that if they want to accompany me, they will have to match my design. So if you see me dressed casual, semi business professional, then in order for you to match that, you're going to have to be dressed casual, semi professional, but you are not going to be gothic prostitute, red light district attire next to my suit. Because the first person that asks me how much, I will look at you and your homegirl and say, buy one, get one free, 20% commission off the top. Gotta get paid. I am not gonna play no games. Y'all gonna be twerking for tuition playing with me if y'all out there looking like thoughts. If you want to be respected, you carry yourself respectable. You want me to respect you, you carry yourself respectable, and then you respect me as well. I carry myself to a higher standard than the average individual. You're going to carry yourself to the same standard that I carry myself, or just choose not to accompany me. That's it. Because if you don't respect yourself, I am not going to fight off the dude that smacks your butt or decides to stick his finger in it because he can see it. I'm not going to do nothing. You're going to be, oh, well, why didn't you? Because one, you're not my woman. And two, you should know better because I told you not to dress like that in my presence. So the fact that you ran commando next to my three-piece suit, whatever happened to you is on you because me, I am going to the food court and get me some Chinese food because in Asia they ain't acting like that. Modesty. You could run commando in a business suit. You could have ran commando with a skirt going down to your knees. You could have ran commando with a flower dress going down to your ankles. You did not have to have a skirt that barely touches the bottom of your booty cheeks and run commando at the same time. You ain't had to go that damn far. You could have at least had a G string on or something. You could have at least had the most valuable part covered, even if the booty cheeks was hanging out. Damn. Where do y'all draw the line? And then, but then if we look too long, the women be like, "Oh, you're such a pig. You're misogynistic." Blah, 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 blah. Girl, if you didn't want me to look, you should not have had it out there. If you're wearing leggings, all the guys are going to crash their cars looking at your behind in pants, tight pants. So, kids, you imagine how the men are going to behave in your presence if you've got a skirt where bare skin is exposed? This is like OnlyFans in person right here. That's no, you don't behave like that. And this is why men tell women how to dress. As my woman, I do not want men to think like this, and I don't want men to treat you this way. So I don't want you to wear that outfit. Now, if you respect yourself and you respect me, you won't wear that outfit again. If I see that outfit on you again, we won't talk after that. That's it. And I'm gonna when I go places, I take myself places that I want to go. I don't give a fuck where you want to go. I take myself places where I want to go. And where I want to go is nice places. So when I go somewhere nice, I'm gonna take you somewhere nice because you're accompanying me. So you want to go to nice places, you're gonna go with me to nice places, which means you got to carry yourself. So if you're not gonna carry yourself, I'll go to the five-star restaurant by my damn self. I have a reservation. The reservation is not a per person reservation. It is a per table reservation. So if I pay for the reservation, I'm going. If you don't dress the part, your ass ain't going. But what he said, 7 people and everybody the female but him. So the girl that ain't dressing right, she's the only one that's not going. The other 5 women are going because they dressing right. That's how it is. Then, well, why you ain't taking me? Because you need to change. And I'm not going to make you change, but I don't feel comfortable going anywhere with you looking like that. So if you're willing to change, I'll wait for you. But if you're not willing to change, I'm not taking you with us. Usually, because no woman wants to be left out, give me a minute, I'll change. And she'll go from commando with the skirt with a booty cheeks out to long ass pants because she doesn't want to be left out. You give it a choice. This isn't about controlling women. This isn't about manipulating women. This is about asking a woman to respect herself the way you want her to be respected by other people. And if she doesn't have enough respect for herself to respect you enough to follow that instruction, then you don't want to affiliate with her as a friend or a romantic partner. She's not going to make it to the wife. Plain and simple. Now, let's go ahead and touch base with the next one.
Is this inappropriate behavior? Do you think looking up a person from your life before you were married 20 years ago, messaging them and then deleting the message is sketchy? And if the response was STH, like, I've thought of you too, let's meet for a drink. EXO, knowing that spouse reached out first, not knowing when or what was said, and that both messages were deleted. Without any discussion with OP, tell me what you think of this.
I don't give a damn which one of y'all pulled that bullshit off, but if you have a marriage that is 20 years long and you are reaching out to your ex from 21 years plus ago, you just ended your marriage. I don't give a fuck if it's a man or the woman. Make sure y'all like and subscribe and mash those reaction buttons. If you are in a marriage, but typically when you're in a marriage and you start thinking about somebody else, you are emotionally and psychologically detaching from the marriage anyway. Once you start acting on that thought, this person I'm thinking about, I miss them. I wonder how they're doing. Maybe I should reach out. Your marriage is over. It doesn't matter if you met up. The fact is that one, you're starting to see, not because you're thinking about somebody else, because you're acting on it and deleting it, keeping it a secret. This is the first stages of deception. This is the first stages of cheating. If y'all meet up, this is the first steps of an affair. If y'all rekindle anything, this is going to be the second steps of an affair. If y'all start hooking up, that's where the full on cheating is. But if, while y'all are rekindling what y'all got going on, you're formulating an emotional bond with an ex from 20 plus years ago. There is no desire or need for closure that you need to entertain from 2 decades ago. If you're not happy in your current marriage, you need to take the time and think about how to please your current husband better so that your current husband is not doing this with his ex from way back when. Now, the other thing is, ladies, men might have a female in their phone that's taking up data space from 30 years ago because nobody purges their phone. Before you get married, note to self, purge your phone. All of your exes, all of your maybes, purge your phone. All of your random hookups, any number that is not a business number that is being used right now, purge it. Your phone should go from 25,000 contacts in your contacts list to probably like 20, right? How many people do you text or email or call in the last 2 years? They're going to be repetitive numbers. And it's probably going to be the same 20 to 50 people between friends and family in your immediate. So a phone number that hasn't been used for 20 years should have been deleted 19 years ago. A phone number that belonged to an ex when you decided to commit to your boyfriend before he became your fiance, before he became your husband, should have been deleted. All of your exes are supposed to be deleted before you commit to your next. So the fact that you kept that maybe in your phone for 20 years and now you're thinking about acting on it, you done fucked up big time. You had a backup plan for 20 plus years. But the only problem that you have with that dynamic is If the son of a bitch wasn't shit, which is why you broke up with him back then, and they have not done nothing over the past 20 years to fix whatever the fuck made you left them, that son of a bitch still ain't shit 20 years later. And now you're about to fuck up a good marriage to go get back involved with some toxic ass shit. The chaos in your relationship that's going to happen from most of y'all with iPhones having the people pull back up the deleted messages, because iPhone, unlike Android, can trace deleted text messages. Another reason why I don't fuck with iPhone. I delete a message on iPhone leave a paper trail. I get rid of a message on Android, that shit is gone forever. Okay? You can recover deleted messages. Now, if your partner decides to investigate because you start switching out emotionally, and then he find out that you're texting other people, because here go the other problem. While you can delete the message off of your phone bill does show everybody that you communicate with. So all he's really got to do is get a printout of the last 3 months. You gonna fuck up and accidentally use your phone to call directly, and that's gonna be on your phone bill. That is when your partner is gonna know, I recognize this number from 20 years ago. That's so and so. Same number you've been calling regularly recently. That's a wrap, bro. That's a divorce. That's a divorce. Before you start thinking about what if with somebody else, you need to start thinking about what if I can do better in my current marriage with the person I already got. Especially when you start talking about 20-year long marriage. I understand marriages get boring. Marriages get dull. You fucking forget. You get used to one another. You just stop trying. Y'all just exist in the same place because we're used to this. We've been doing this for so long. We don't know how not to do this. So you look for excitement somewhere else. Instead of looking for excitement somewhere else, look for excitement in the person that's in the house with you. Start being more romantic in the house with the person that's there. Start being more spontaneous in the house with the person that's there. Start spicing things up. If you start doing more for your partner after being married for 20 years, I guarantee you, if the person that's receiving that is a man, he's going to do more for you. If you start doing more for your partner and your partner's a woman, probably not. She's just going to appreciate it. Oh, he's going above and beyond. I wonder what he did. He's trying to cover up. But if a woman starts doing more for a man after 20 years, oh, he's going to step it up. Shit, she usually don't do nothing for me. She's doing all of this. I feel guilty. Let me start doing more stuff for her. If you want yours as a woman, if you want your relationship to be more, you got to do more. Because on autopilot, you had almost everything you wanted. You didn't have to do shit but breathe and sleep with your man, and you got just about everything you wanted. Just think of how much more you would have got if you had fucking applied yourself. He'd have stayed with you for 20 years and you ain't did shit for him. So if you just applied yourself, how much more do you think you can get out the next 20 years? That's something that not a lot of women think about. Now, that's all of the comments that we got coming through. Not too many people asking that. And I know that we got a lot of stuff to talk about going through the rest of the week. So I want to make sure that y'all keep coming through. So make sure y'all like and subscribe. Make sure that y'all hit the notification buttons, smash those reaction buttons when y'all got time. I'm going to start by saying, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. And then fellas, I give y'all this information to help y'all become higher value men. So if you find the things inside of your control that you can change that you don't like, you make those changes. That is how you improve your life. Then you take the time to find ways to navigate around the things that you can't control. Ladies, while this is a male driven podcast from the male's perspective, you too can take this information and utilize it to make yourselves higher value women. As I tell y'all on a regular basis, you need to find out where you want to be at in 20 years. Reverse engineer that information and then find out what first steps you can make. I recommend all the time, start by doing the free, easy stuff first, then do the free, hard stuff, then navigate yourself into the cheap, easy stuff, then progress yourself into the expensive, hard stuff. By the time you get to the expensive, hard stuff, you will find yourself accomplishing so many of your goals. And if you have a partner, especially one that's willing to give you 20 years, that can aid you in accomplishing your goals, you will find yourself in a position where you will get to those goals so much faster. I've given you guys so much information on how two people can come together with $30,000 and $40,000 a year incomes and make it to $1 million, $2 million in 20 years, $1 million in 10 years. And if you have the right person and y'all are fiscally responsible, two people can come together and live off of one income and y'all will not be broke after 20 years of living together. So this 20-year marriage where she's talking about going to hook up with a dude from 21 years ago, shit, that shouldn't even cross your mind. Y'all should be traveling the world together. Y'all could have quit y'all jobs with the $2 million, $1.5 million y'all would have raised together. Y'all could have quit y'all jobs and y'all could spend more time looking at what country we going to next, living life to the fullest instead of dwindling on the past. But broke-mindedness led to broke-minded decisions, which led to not having enough money to do nothing, which led to living a boring life, paycheck to paycheck. And now you want excitement with the excitement you had 20 years ago. But why do you think that excitement was 20 years ago? Because it was fucking toxic. It was a roller coaster because it wasn't stable. You married into stability, stick with it, nurture it, improve it, modify it, tweak it out, make it the relationship that you want. That is a healthy and happy relationship. And that way, after 20 years, you have another 20 years of satisfaction. But don't throw it all away for an impulse from the past. Now, that's all I got for y'all for tonight. I want to thank y'all for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And we, after daylight savings time, we're still going to be starting at about 10:15 Central Standard Time, which is 11:15 Eastern Standard Time. And we're going to be coming back every night of the week. But make sure that y'all swing by. So since daylight savings time happened overnight last night, everything has switched to an hour sooner. But we're still going to be hitting at that exact same start time. So I want to make sure that y'all swing back by every day for the rest of this week. Again, I want to thank you for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Chase validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt upon the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher, constantly making my own climb. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command.